Hi, this is Cameron again, completing my second analysis for a collaborative tool. This one is VoiceThread, which can be found at voicethread.com. VoiceThread does cost money. For the K through 12 classroom, it's $79 per year or $15 a month. That includes one educator and 50 student accounts, and it is $2 per additional student. This allows you to create student accounts without email addresses, edit, access to all student work. It provides a secure and accountable environment, which is what they said on their website. I'm not exactly sure what that entails. And then it also said that you can create groups to organize and simplify sharing. So VoiceThread is pretty cool. You can upload images or videos, or I suppose it could be screenshots of presentations, or even just some text. And then you can just discuss it, record your voice over it, and then once you publish it, other users can comment, add little doodles or notes to the video, and then that kind of serves as a collaborative discussion of whatever you've presented or whatever another student has presented. This tool is mostly asynchronous. I can't really tell that it would be synchronous at all. But I'll basically show you how this works. So to create one, you can add media by either dropping the files here or clicking this to select either something from your computer, media sources, an audio recording, a webcam photo or webcam video, or URL. And then once you upload that, you can speak over it. And then that kind of creates your voice thread, your video recording, or image with audio recording. So for example, I have a picture that I took in Germany, and it shows these different shutters or blinds that they have for their windows. It's just something kind of cultural that I show my students. So I can add that as an image, and you can see that uploaded here. I've given the title Germany to the project. I can add other media if I want, or I can just move on to the next step, which is comment. So in order to comment, I can click down here at the little comment button. I can either write on it, I can use my phone to dial in and record my voice, or I can click this to use the microphone from my computer. I can do a video recording, or I can upload some sort of comment, which could just be a slide or some sort of word text that I can upload to this voice thread. So once you do that, you can share it. So let me just pretend that I recorded something here. So I'll click out, and then I can go back here to share. There are a couple different ways you can do this. You can copy the link, you can embed it, or you can post it to Facebook or Twitter. You have to upgrade to get secure sharing, but all of them are private, I believe, until you post them. And then there are other ways to export it. You can download it and then save it offline, which would also allow you to upload it to other tools. So an example lesson that I thought of that I could use for my Module 2 lesson about the passive voice was that my students could create passive voice sentences and then kind of teach a small lesson to their classmates about the passive voice, which would allow them to comment on each other's and maybe provide suggestions or even ask questions to which the creator of that voice thread could respond. They could also provide real-life examples, so they could find pictures or videos from YouTube or even other sources, anything really that provides examples of passive voice, or either examples where they should be using passive voice and didn't, or something like that. And then the teacher and the students could interact with the other students, the creator's work, with comments on the voice thread. And obviously that could be through recordings or the typing comments, or they could doodle on it, circle things, maybe errors, or maybe areas where they could maybe improve a little bit. but I thought that would work well with the passive voice. And obviously this can be used in any content area, I think, very easily. As far as the social presence goes, I think for brainstorming it would work. They could maybe create TPS charts or KWL charts, and it's a good way to even organize their thoughts. Other students could comment and provide their own input as well, and maybe make connections, see where they thought the same thing or where they didn't even. They could also use this as a reflection, so after a topic of study they could reflect on their performance or kind of what they learned throughout the lesson, even reflecting back on a KWL chart or TPS activity. I thought problem solving might be able to fit in there. I did mention the TPS charts, but they could maybe even do something that's a little persuasive, something that requires a discussion and others could comment, maybe ask questions and kind of make them think a little bit more. So it's kind of a student-led discussion there as well, which I also said would fit into the demonstrating mastery. These voice threads could also be used as presentations. They could debate topics. It would have to be asynchronous, of course. And lastly, I also said product development would work. They could do digital storytelling, select pictures, write their own story in German, or whatever class you're in. They could tell stories from history if you have a history class. It's very open-ended, but I think that also allows them to present information in that way. And lastly, for the SPM, I said the affective association. I think the audio really allows for more emotion, and the fact that students can record audio to each other, so it really lets them show their personality a little bit more. And obviously, depending on the type of activity you do, that's more appropriate other times than not. So, for example, in a persuasive piece, maybe they don't really want to show their emotion, they just want to show the facts. So in that instance, it wouldn't really be that acceptable to do that. So for the next one, community cohesion, with the ability to reflect on others' work, I think it really does a good job of that. Again, asynchronously, but they can easily reflect and comment, creating discussion. The interaction intensity, there are multiple different interaction methods: audio, writing, doodling, etc. And the teacher and classmates can all do that. Knowledge and experience, I think they can share that through the comments, as I mentioned before. And again, that's either through audio or images or writing, whatever it is. But they can easily make connections in that way. And lastly, the instructor involvement. The teacher could provide rubrics and checklists and requirements for the voice threads. Also for the discussion after that, any commenting or questions that students have to ask each other regarding whatever they recorded. Overall, I think that VoiceThread is another good tool for collaboration. Again, asynchronous. I didn't really see any way that it could be synchronous, but that could be supplemented, as could Weebly. So overall, another great tool. And it does appear that you can use it for free, but there are, again, restrictions to how it's being used. So more beneficial for a classroom if you purchase a K through 12 classroom license for $79 a year or $15 a month.